There's a lot of jealousy and a lot of hate in the sport of boxing. I want to see all the young fighters, no matter what your color is. I want to see you do good. I want to see you do great. I want to continue to see great fights.
Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder.
Criticise the Roach fight. I knew it would be a good fight because we know Roach is a good fighter.
Floyd Mayweather has allegedly been training Lamont Roach ahead of his highly anticipated rematch with Gervonta Tank Davis. This partnership could give Roach a significant edge, as he already has experience facing Davis in the ring. With Mayweather's guidance, Roach may be able to exploit Tank's weaknesses, sending a clear message that this fight won't be an easy one for the reigning champion. Roach has been a standout fighter from the very beginning of his boxing journey. With an impressive amateur background, he built a strong foundation that has seamlessly transitioned into his professional career. His technical skills, discipline, and relentless work ethic have always set him apart, making him a dangerous opponent in the lightweight division. Interestingly, Roach's history with Gervonta Davis dates back years. At just 16 years old, he had already shared the ring with Davis, gaining first-hand experience of his fighting style. That early exposure helped shape Roach into the fighter he is today, giving him a deep understanding of what it takes to compete at the highest level. Now, as a lightweight champion, Roach is gaining more recognition, especially after his first fight with Davis. Many fans and analysts have taken notice of his skills and potential, acknowledging his ability to go toe-to-toe with one of boxing's biggest names. His performance against Davis earned him respect, and he is now seen as a serious contender in the division. With his name rapidly rising in the boxing world, Roach is determined to prove that he belongs among the sport's elite. His upcoming rematch with Davis is not just another fight. It's an opportunity to solidify his status as one of the best in the division.
Who really is Lamont Roach, bro? And what's his early life like? He was born in Washington, D.C., but he was raised in Upper Marlboro, a city in Maryland. Lamont Roach didn't touch his first bag until he was 9 years old, bro, when his dad took him to the No Excuse Boxing Club. And this is where he learned the basics of the sport and ultimately gained his love for boxing. These two right here are Lamont Roach's parents. This is Lamont Roach Sr., who still trains Lamont Roach today. And this is Lamont Roach's mother here, Team Roach, and ultimately the reason why Tank let Lamont make it to the end of the fight. But anyway, back to the story. Lamont Roach has two siblings. He has a younger brother, Jordan Roach, who also boxes, by the way. Here's Jordan's box trick right here. And this young lady right here is his sister, Taylor Roach. Bro, by the time Lamont got to middle school, bro, he was training very seriously, man. He was training upwards of 5 times a week, bro. He was taking it very seriously. Lamont was a 2-time National Golden Gloves champ for juniors, National PAL champ, and 5-time Ringside World champ, bro. This man was going crazy, man. And this is the footage right here from 2010 when him and Gervonta Davis actually fought, bro. Gervonta got gold and Roach got silver. They were both ranked number 1 and 2 nationally, bro. So Roach is a hell of a contender, man. Roach had a very impressive amateur record, man, boasting 125 wins and 15 losses. 2 of those losses coming by Tank, man. Also, when him and Tank fought, Roach was 15 and Tank was 16 at the time. 3 years later, 2013, Roach actually won his National Golden Gloves Championship. And he was also a USA Boxing Youth National Champ as well. And 1 year later, before his pro debut, he was signed to Golden Boy, man, becoming part of Oscar's team. So in 2014, at 18 years old, Lamont will make his pro debut, where he got a unanimous decision, and it was over Victor Galindo. And he was in school, man, for actually mechanical engineering, following in his father's footsteps, just in case boxing didn't work out. And bro, he was a terror in the pros, man. He was undefeated until 2019, where he suffered his first loss to Jamel Herring. But that's okay, man. He was there to be great. He was going for the WBO super featherweight belt. For the next couple of years, bro actually had to do a lot of reflecting, man. That first loss is always the worst one. So he did that. After dusting himself off and getting his mind together, bro, he went ahead and captured his own title, man, in 2023 over Hector Luis Garcia, making him the WBA super featherweight champ. And as we all know, man, he just fought Tank this past weekend. It ended in a draw. It was a good fight, honestly. I can't even be mad at it. And bro, who knows what's next for Roach. Hopefully we get that rematch. Hey, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching the video. Leave a comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Lamont Roach has steadily climbed the boxing ranks, establishing himself as a formidable force in the lightweight division. As the current WBA champion, he has proven his ability to compete at the highest level. His achievements have earned him the 14th spot in the world rankings and 3rd in the USA, highlighting his skill and consistency inside the ring. That Roach's resume is packed with tough opponents, each of whom has contributed to his growth as a fighter. He has never shied away from a challenge, always seeking to test himself against top-tier talent. His ability to adapt and overcome difficult opponents has been one of his greatest strengths, making him a dangerous contender for anyone in his weight class. Winning the WBA lightweight title was a defining moment in Roach's career, cementing his place among boxing's elite. However, he isn't satisfied with simply holding the belt. He wants to continue proving himself against the best. His upcoming rematch with Gervonta Tank Davis presents a major opportunity to showcase his skills on a bigger stage and earn even greater respect in the boxing world. With an impressive track record and unwavering determination, Roach is more motivated than ever. He understands that every fight is a chance to build his legacy, and he's prepared to leave everything in the ring. As fans and analysts begin to recognize his full potential, a victory over Davis would further solidify his status as a dominant force in the lightweight division.
Hey, yo, we gonna be checking for any suspicious opponents on Lamont Roach record. He's 25-1 with 10 big wins coming by the way of knockout, my people. He's in the super featherweight division. He's ranked number 14 in the world and number 3 in the USA, my people. He has a WBA title right now in the super featherweight division. He's fighting Gervonta Davis in December, but you know we gotta check how he even got there and how he started his career. His pro debut, he went against Victor. He was 1-3. That's fine. It's your pro debut. First fight as a professional. You feel me? I ain't gonna get at you. Next person was 1-6. Alright, I mean, we ain't do better, but it's your second fight. Like, fourth person was 0-1. That was a little sussy because he ended up 0-10. He never won a day in his life, so he never got his hand raised in a boxing match. You feel me? And then the next person, he stepped it up, though. He went to undefeated. It's only 2 fights, but he was 2-0. Then 12-9, that's a journeyman. I'm not gonna lie. 4-2, 3-4, these are looking good. 8-5, that's a journeyman in the making. He got to win the race.
Teofimo Lopez has openly criticized Gervonta Tank Davis's knockout record, questioning the caliber of his opponents. He remarked, "I think a lot of people just focus on the knockouts that he gets, but against who? They're not seasoned fighters." Lopez believes that Davis has yet to face truly elite competition, implying that his knockout victories lack substance due to the perceived quality of his opposition. He further emphasized his point by stating, "Davis has never faced a fighter like me. Never at all. Never." This critique highlights Lopez's confidence in his own abilities while casting doubt on Davis's standing in the boxing world.
So you think you dominate Tank?
I think I dominate any of them. If you really look at it, if you gotta really tap in on this. Look at the resume, all that extra, whatever. There's a certain limit that you hit, right? But then there's that next criteria or that next top tier. And if you don't match that, you know, you never gonna know how great you really are. And I've done that a few amount of times already. I jumped out that box and done that. So I have yet to see Gervonta come out of that box yet. You know what I'm saying? They're about to put him with a guy at 130 pounds. Whether he's a champion or not, you're getting a guy lighter than you to come up and weight to make you look good again. You know what I'm saying?
Despite receiving a lucrative offer to fight Conor Benn, Gervonta Tank Davis chose to face Lamont Roach instead, believing it would be an easier fight. Many fans and analysts shared this sentiment, as Roach, a natural lightweight, was moving up in weight to challenge Tank. Given Davis's knockout power and Roach's smaller frame, most expected a dominant performance from the Baltimore fighter. However, things didn't go as planned. Instead of an easy night, Tank found himself struggling against Roach's technical skills, defensive prowess, and strategic game plan. Despite coming from a lower weight class, Roach was well prepared and managed to expose weaknesses in Davis's approach. As a result, what many anticipated as a routine victory for Tank turned into one of his most challenging performances to date. Rather than cruising to a win, Davis was met with a determined fighter who refused to back down. Instead of proving his dominance, his lackluster showing has fueled criticism, with many questioning whether he underestimated Roach or if his skills are beginning to decline.
I know Lamont Roach, but, when you're looking at Shakur Stevenson, when you're looking at, these other fights that he should really be fighting, he don't want to do them fights. He wants to retire. So don't come and, but don't come at me and go, oh yeah, let's give it all, very big bollocks and go, oh yeah, let's give him some stick and then make out like we want the fight. And then we send an offer over and then you fight for 15 million and yet you fight Lamont Roach. Don't do all that. Do you know what I mean?
It was a real offer. That was true then.
It was a real offer. I said, listen, you keep talking shit. My promoter's going to get back to you in 48 hours. 50 minutes. Initial offer sent over. But was it Uncle didn't let him out to play? His boss didn't let him out. That's it. So he wants to talk about, 50 million. First offer.
There was room to negotiate.
Of course there was. But he's an idiot. I don't even know if he knows what negotiating means.
Promoter Eddie Hearn has consistently expressed respect for Lamont Roach Jr.'s abilities, even in the face of public skepticism. Before the December 14th, 2024 bout between Gervonta Tank Davis and Roach, Hearn acknowledged the criticism surrounding the matchup but defended Roach's credentials. He stated, "Lamont Roach is a good fighter. The problem is no one knows who he is. And with Tank's position in the sport, people want him in big fights, and this isn't a big fight." The fight ultimately ended in a controversial majority draw, with a pivotal moment occurring in the 9th round when Davis took a knee, without a knockdown being called. Reflecting on the incident, Hearn remarked, "If you take a knee in a fight and touch down while punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown." His comments suggest that, in his view, Davis should have been ruled down in that instance. While Hearn has not explicitly stated that Davis should have lost, his remarks indicate that he believes Roach's performance was impressive and that the 9th round incident warranted a knockdown ruling. This further underscores Hearn's recognition of Roach as a formidable fighter, despite the doubts of others.
This year or in boxing, there's obviously been a hurdle. Will he get through the second fight, Gervonta?
Maybe not. I think he's had a result, to be honest with you, because one, he should have lost the fight. He should have had a point deducted. There's no doubt about that. But two, people criticised the Roach fight. I knew it would be a good fight because we know Roach is a good fighter, but people in boxing know that Roach is a good fighter. Now it's giving him another fight. Because if he would have beaten Roach, he's kind of backed in a corner to fight Shakur Stevenson, I think. But now he's got a rematch that's actually much bigger than the first fight. So yeah, I think he'll be more switched on for this maybe, but Roach is a good fighter, it won't be easy.
Floyd Mayweather has always been passionate about mentoring young fighters, helping them reach their full potential. One of his biggest success stories is Gervonta Tank Davis, whom Mayweather guided early in his career, providing invaluable experience and knowledge. Under Mayweather's mentorship, Davis became a boxing star, known for his power and skill. However, Davis has since parted ways with Mayweather Promotions, choosing to manage his career independently. With this shift, Mayweather has been looking to support other talented fighters, one of whom is Lamont Roach Jr. Roach recently faced Davis in a highly controversial fight that ended in a majority draw. Many believe Roach should have been credited with a knockdown in the 9th round when Davis appeared to take a knee. Promoter Eddie Hearn has weighed in on the matter, stating that Roach has always been an exceptional fighter despite being underestimated. He also believes the referee made an error by not calling the knockdown, further adding to the controversy surrounding the fight.
Do you will come back to boxing?
Oh no. I'm not coming back to the sport of boxing. The sport of boxing was good to me. I was able to make a lot of smart investments on the outside, and I just want to help. Like I said, the fighters that's up and coming. Like I was talking about, like Gervonta Tank Davis. I don't understand why he's not in the top 10 pound for pound. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Benavidez. The list goes on. There's so many tough fighters out there. So many great young champions out there that I'm proud of.
Floyd Mayweather's influence on young fighters has always been a topic of debate. His approach emphasizes defense, precision, and calculated risk-taking, principles that serve him well throughout his undefeated career. However, Some believe this style doesn't suit every fighter. Lamont Roach Jr., however, appears to be benefiting from elements of Mayweather's philosophy. His recent performances have showcased improved defensive awareness, sharper counterpunching, and better movement inside the ring. This evolution has led to speculation about whether Roach is now working with, or at least influenced by, Mayweather. With Gervonta Tank Davis no longer under Mayweather's promotional banner, Floyd's potential focus on Roach adds an intriguing twist to their rivalry. If Roach has truly adopted Mayweather's strategies, a rematch with Davis could become a compelling clash of styles. Davis's aggressive knockout power versus Roach's developing defensive skill set. Despite Mayweather's success, some critics question his training philosophy. They argue that his fighters often lack the endurance and grit needed for prolonged battles in the ring. Mayweather has famously stated that fighters don't need long training camps, believing that skill and strategy outweigh pure physical conditioning. However, some trainers disagree, insisting that long-term conditioning is essential for maintaining power and stamina in later rounds. As Roach prepares for a potential rematch with Davis, it remains to be seen whether Mayweather's influence will be an advantage or a limitation. Will Roach's refined technique and defensive improvements give him the edge, or will Davis's explosive power prove too much? With Mayweather's shadow looming over this rivalry, the rematch is shaping up to be a fascinating chess match between two rising stars.
You train 6 weeks before the fight, and Floyd Mayweather messed these boxers up thinking that they can only train 6 weeks before the fight and then they'll be good. Y'all remember when Floyd said that? Give me 6 weeks, I'll beat him.
Lamont Roach is more determined than ever as he prepares for a potential rematch against Gervonta Tank Davis. The controversy surrounding their first fight has only fueled his motivation, and he knows he must push himself harder this time. Roach firmly believes he did enough to win their initial bout, but the judges saw it differently. Now, his focus is on making sure there is no doubt about the outcome. Roach has openly stated that he needs to do more, train harder, sharpen his skills, and refine his strategy. "I have to push myself to another level," he said. "I have to do everything just a little more this time." He understands that against a dangerous opponent like Davis, every small improvement counts. Whether it's his footwork, power, or endurance, Roach is committed to elevating every aspect of his game. His mindset is clear. He refuses to let the judges decide the outcome. Roach is determined to dominate and leave no room for controversy. "I'm more than motivated," he declared. "This time, I'm making sure there's no debate." With renewed determination, Roach is putting in extra hours at the gym, studying his mistakes, and focusing on executing the perfect game plan. If he follows through, this rematch could be the defining moment of his career, a chance to prove that he truly belongs at the top.
I have to come with it all. I have to do more. Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical. I have to do a lot. I have to do everything just a little more. And I think that will definitely put me over the hump. And I'm more than motivated to get back in there, get back in the camp, and work hard so I can secure a victory over a pound for pound fighter, in which I believe that I am myself.
Lamont Roach is actively seeking high-level sparring partners to elevate his performance ahead of a potential rematch with Gervonta Tank Davis. He understands that to win, he must prepare against opponents who can replicate Davis's aggressive yet technical style, making them ideal training partners. Roach is determined to challenge himself against top-tier opposition in the gym, ensuring he's fully prepared for fight night. By sharpening his reflexes and adapting to intense pressure, he aims to neutralize Davis's explosiveness. This calculated training approach could give him the edge he needs to secure victory and leave no doubt about the outcome.
Is it true? You did want to see him get some work with Boots? I saw in the interview. Yeah, I'm gonna call Boots. You gonna call him? I'm gonna call him. What? They say they what? They say that. Shit, that's right up the road. That's right up the road. Obviously, Tank doing. Obviously, Tank cracking. Boots cracking. Why not?
Despite holding a world title, Lamont Roach has yet to gain widespread recognition among casual boxing fans. His lower profile has led some to believe that Gervonta Tank Davis selected him as an easy opponent. However, those who closely follow Roach's career know that he is far from an easy fight. His technical skills, defensive awareness, and steady improvements make him a dangerous underdog. Being underestimated could actually work in Roach's favor. Many great fighters have thrived when overlooked, using it as motivation to prove their doubters wrong. With less pressure on his shoulders compared to Davis, Roach can focus solely on executing his game plan, free from the expectations that come with being a superstar. Fighters who step into the ring with nothing to lose often deliver their best performances, and Roach's hunger and determination to solidify his place among the boxing elite could push him to new heights. If Davis underestimates him or takes him lightly, Roach has the potential to pull off an upset. The rematch provides Roach with a golden opportunity, not only to settle the controversy from their first fight, but also to earn the respect and recognition he deserves.
Like I said, in boxing, at the end of the day, Lamont Roach is a world champion. Like I said, the whole thing about Lamont Roach is that he can fight. You can't overlook anybody, especially not at the top level. Everybody knows he can fight. And Tank and Lamont Roach have been acquainted with each other since they were young fighters. And, just coming up in the game and knowing each other, the comfortability, that's still something that can threaten one another. But I feel like Tank will come out on top at the end of the day. But Lamont might give people, a tougher fight than he might.
Speaking on that, though, like you fought guys early in your amateur career, right? And then you fight them now. You already know what to expect, or is there somewhat of an evolution?
No, it's definitely an evolution. It's definitely changed in people, but a lot of the times, probably half the time, people's mentality stay the same, and their personalities don't always change. So you might be more comfortable with somebody, just growing up with them and knowing where they come from and knowing their background and stuff, versus just not knowing the fight at all.
Who was that fight, Lane?
Tank. I got Tank.
How?
I don't know. I feel like Tank might break you down, work his way to a knockout. Because Tank is great at breaking fighters down, just punches his way into it, boxes his way into it.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned, and until next time,